The men and women who wear this nation's uniform are some of the most inspiring people you'll ever meet. There's no shortage of stories of their valor, of their courage under fire, of their sacrifices made voluntarily on behalf of a grateful nation. But I have the responsibility and the honor this morning of sharing the story of a particularly exceptional service member from my state of New York, Senior Chief Petty Officer Shannon Hent. Shannon Hent was from upstate New York. She was born in Oswego. She was raised in Pine Plains. She graduated from Stissing Mountain High School and left college to join the Navy, following in the footsteps of her father and her uncle, a police commander and a firefighter who both were first responders on September 11th. Duty ran in the veins of the Hent family. Shannon was a pioneer in the special operations community. She was one of the first, if not the first woman, to pass the course required to join Navy SEALs on missions. That's amazing in itself. Shannon was an outstanding linguist and a seasoned cryptologist whose work contributed directly to the capture of hundreds of enemy insurgents and severely degraded enemy combat capability, earning her a slew of accolades, including multiple commendation medals, the Purple Heart and the Bronze Star. What an amazing woman. Brave, strong, brilliant, large body of knowledge. Amazing. Her courageous efforts, groundbreaking achievements, have inspired numerous programs for integrating women into the Special Operations Forces, with combat jobs and special operation training now open to female service members. Senior Chief Hent was living proof that women could not only keep up with, but lead our nation's most highly trained and capable service members. Of course, Shannon was more than just a sailor. She was a loving wife to her husband, Joe, a caring mother to her 2 children, a cancer survivor, a scholar, and an unstoppable athlete who stayed true to her New York roots, often going out for runs in her faded New York Yankees cap. On January 16th of this year, Senior Chief Petty Officer Shannon Hent. On January 16th of this year, Senior Chief Petty Officer Shannon Hent was among 4 Americans and more than a dozen others killed in a suicide bombing in northern Syria. Senior Chief Hent was on her 5th combat deployment, once again conducting some of the nation's most classified and dangerous missions. After her tragic death, one of her commanding officers said, "Senior Chief Petty Officer Shannon Hent deserves to be honored in a manner befitting of her noble service to our country and enduring contributions to the United States Navy." I could not agree more. So today, I am proudly introducing an amendment to the annual Defense Authorization Bill, urging the United States Navy to name a ship after New York native and American hero, Senior Chief Petty Officer Shannon Hent. Of the 289 active duty ships in the Navy, only five are named in honor of women. Of the 53 named vessels currently under construction, only one, just one, is named in honor of a woman. And no naval ship has ever been named for a woman who fought and died in combat like Shannon Hent did. It's time to address this disparity, recognize the integral role that female service members play in protecting our great nation. Rear Admiral Grace Hopper, the namesake of the USS Hopper, once said, "A ship in port is safe, but that's not what ships are built for. Sail out to sea and do new things." That's what Admiral Hopper said. Well, Senior Chief Officer Shannon Hent was built to set out to sea and do new things. So should we. I urge my colleagues to support my amendment to name the first naval vessel after a woman who has fought and died in combat, the brave, patriotic, wonderful Shannon Hent.